Good evening. We start here tonight. South African drug maker Aspen Pharmacare has published its full-year financial results and a drop in profit. The group has pointed to some factors that have negatively impacted the first half performance relative to the prior comparative period, including the Russia-Ukraine war, inflationary pressures, and the loss of the COVID-19 vaccine revenue. The CEO and co-founder, Stephen Saad, joins us now. Stephen, thank you very much for your time, as always. I want to start with how you would characterize the past financial year, seeing that group revenue for that financial year that ended in June grew 5% to well over 40 billion rands.
Yes, so it was a really strong second half. Our first half we were down on revenue, down by quite a lot more, and we managed to really have a record second half. And that set the tone for being able to grow all our key profit indicators, besides the earnings one headline at the bottom, and that was not through operational performance. That was because of foreign exchange movements. But I think we also benefited from foreign currency tailwinds because the rand appreciated against a lot of key currencies. But for me, the overall take is that we've done very well to grow both our commercial pharma business and our manufacturing business in a very difficult environment. As you mentioned, we lost our Russian business effectively, and the COVID vaccine was a sort of an early termination that we weren't really anticipating.
Stephen, let's talk about the loss of the Russian business and what it means for the group, as many companies globally have had to distance themselves from the Kremlin due to what is happening in Ukraine.
Yes, it was a business that I think at the time when it hit us had done 500 million in the half, and maybe it would have done 1 billion for the year. And I think it'll probably be down 60%, and it will come down further. In terms of exiting Russia or something like those, there's no pharma companies that have exited globally. I mean, that's just because you've got a responsibility. At the end of the day, we're not part of the war, but if you take your medicines off that market, particularly a lot of our medicines, remember, are injectable products, critical for example, oncology and areas like that. You're going to probably cause deaths for many normal people or an average Russian person. And so I've not seen any pharma companies exit. They might not be expanding in Russia, but they're not exiting. Certainly not critical medicines.
Absolutely. Let's talk about something that took place last week, the 15th Brics Summit. There's a lot of interest with what is happening there, with the expansion of more countries to join. And one wonders, for a JSE-listed conglomerate like yourself, having made a number of deals around the world and operating in many territories, how would an expansion of the Brics bloc of nations to the countries that have been mentioned in January next year help or change your strategy in terms of entering those markets, such as companies such as Aspen? What is your view about the global relationships that South Africa is creating, as far as what that would mean for Aspen Pharmacare?
From an Aspen perspective, we are building up a very strong emerging market footprint. We already have one, and we're building on it. You can see we're building more on South Africa. We're building on Latin America. We're hoping to expand our business in China as well. So being Brics represents many of the emerging markets. So, of course, Aspen is well positioned within the emerging markets. I think from an Aspen perspective, what does Brics mean? I think we've got to ask, what is Brics going to achieve? If Brics achieves more trade or favorable trade between those territories, that's fine. But everyone walks away from here, and China continues to compete with India, and we've got to understand what the aim of Brics is and how Brics is going to empower and grow everybody's economies and work together. In that environment, given Aspen's geographical spread, that would be a really positive spin-off for Aspen. If, for example, there was favorable trade with Brazil, with India, with China in particular, and Latin America. We've taken some big bets there as well. It could be a real positive and give a very positive spin to the Aspen business.
Let's talk about something that you announced today, and that's the partnership that you have signed with the US-based pharmaceutical company Eli Lilly. Tell us more about that, because it sounds quite exciting and lucrative as well for Aspen Pharmacare.
Very exciting for us, really exciting. The single biggest pharmaceutical multinational by market capitalization in the world company, and they've got a phenomenal pipeline. They've got this sort of diabetes, obesity drugs, which I'm sure everyone's sort of heard about, but a very, very rich pipeline of products. And if you put that together with what we did with Amgen in South Africa, it just shows the respect that Aspen's held by these companies, because they feel we can do a better job than them because we've got such focus in the territory. But also it tells you about the compliance and the ethics of the business that we run, and a very, very exciting opportunity. And from Aspen, which just doesn't have the tens of billions of dollars to invest in research and development, but this gives us access to these critical products and novel products in South Africa. So yes, an exciting opportunity, and probably one of the most exciting opportunities we've had in South Africa for a very, very long time.
Exciting and lucrative indeed. The CEO and co-founder at Aspen Pharmacare, Stephen Saad, thank you very much for your time.